In the city of Los Santos, crime ran rampant. Gangs, drug dealers, and corrupt cops ruled the streets. But in the midst of all this chaos, there were three men who stood out: Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. Michael was a retired bank robber who had settled down in Los Santos with his family. He was living a peaceful life until one day, he was contacted by an old associate who convinced him to come out of retirement for one last score. Franklin was a small-time criminal trying to make it big. He was tired of living in poverty and wanted to climb the ranks of the criminal underworld. And then there was Trevor, a wild card with a penchant for violence. He was Michael's former partner in crime, but the two had a falling out and hadn't spoken in years. The three men's paths crossed when they were brought together for a heist. They didn't trust each other at first, but they knew that they needed to work together to pull off the job. As they worked on the heist, the trio formed an unlikely bond. They found themselves relying on each other more and more, and they started to see that they were not so different from one another. Together, the trio embarks on a series of increasingly dangerous heists, stealing from banks, drug cartels, and other criminal organizations. They must navigate the treacherous waters of Los Santos' criminal underworld, avoiding rival gangs, corrupt cops, and each other's volatile personalities. But their newfound camaraderie was tested when the heist went wrong. They found themselves on the run from the law and their former criminal associates. They had to use all their skills and wits to stay alive and stay one step ahead of their enemies. As they fought to survive, they also fought to take down the criminal organizations that had been causing so much chaos in the city. They were determined to make Los Santos a better place, even if it meant putting their own lives on the line. As they amass a fortune in ill-gotten gains, tensions rise between Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. Each man has his own agenda and his own vision for how the heist should be carried out. Michael wants to retire from the criminal life and live a quiet life with his family, while Franklin sees the heists as a way to gain respect and rise up in the gang world. Trevor, on the other hand, is consumed by his desire for revenge against those who wronged him in the past. The differences come to a head when they attempt to rob the Union Depository, the most secure bank in Los Santos. The heist is a success, but it comes at a great cost. Michael and Trevor's relationship is shattered, and Franklin is left questioning whether the life of a criminal is worth the risk. In the end, each man must face the consequences of his actions. Michael must confront the ghosts of his past and decide whether he truly wants to leave the criminal life behind. Franklin must decide whether to continue down the path of crime or to turn his life around. And Trevor, consumed by his own madness, finds himself on a collision course with destiny. Grand Theft Auto. Story of ambition, greed, and betrayal set against the backdrop of a city on the brink of collapse. It is a tale of three men who seek fortune and glory in the criminal underworld, only to discover that the cost of their ambition may be too high to pay.